Spatola. I'm Rich Oliver. Chris, both of these clubs relying heavily on freshman guards. For Baylor, it's Keyonte George.
Yeah, this is a league that can humble freshmen. These two guys have gotten better. George shooting it really well from three. He's Baylor's leading scorer in conference play, averaging almost 21 points a game and 6 rebounds to boot. And then it's Pop Isaacs on the other side. Again, Texas Tech's leading scorer in conference play. Man, he's got a lot of pop to his game, pun intended. Can take it to the rack, but he really loves that three. Had a nice night against Texas the other day. 5 threes in that game. He's a B12 shot with the ball in his hands.
And Pop Isaacs will have a field day passing the ball to the big man. Fardaws Aimaq, one of the prize transfers this offseason, making his second start of the year for the Red Raiders, coming off a broken foot. His first in front of the home crowd, and he is a game changer for Texas Tech.
He sure is. He changes their team, plain and simple. That 12-5 against Texas was after one practice in about 5 months. So you assume, Rich, he's only gonna get better from there.
Texas Tech trying to break through in league play. They are 0 for 5, and their 5 losses have come by 2 possessions or fewer. Baylor riding a modest 2-game win streak after starting out 0-3 in conference contests. John Higgins, Marcus Pettigrew, Michael Greenstein, your officials. Texas Tech in the home whites, Baylor in the road greens, and the Bears control the opening tip. The 145th meeting between these two teams from the Lone Star State. Here's George, 1 in green, gives it up to Jalen Bridges, first 2 of the game.
Playing against this Texas Tech defense, you have got to be active from the weak side. They really shrink the floor. Texas Tech brings help aggressively. You've got to be cutting and an active cutter from the weak side.
Aimaq, skip pass. Tyson misses the 3. And Aimaq chases it down. Gives it up. Oh, Banner! George can't answer from beyond the arc at the other end. Here comes Pop Isaacs. Pretty thread of the needle, and Jalen Tyson has an easy 2. And a timeout called before 1 minute has transpired in the first half. We'll step aside for 30 seconds as Baylor wants to talk things over. Texas Tech boasts one of the best home court advantages in all of college basketball. And despite the fact that this team is 0-5 in Big 12 play, they are out in full force tonight trying to get win number 1 in league play. And United Supermarkets Arena packs them in. Only Bog Allen Fieldhouse has a larger home attendance this year.
And it's as good a student section as there is in college basketball.
There's Adam Flagler, 10 in green with the ball. One of the best 3-level scorers in the game. Jalen Bridges from 3. He knocks it down. He's struggled from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and it's a big shot because obviously they're going to pay a ton of attention, this Texas Tech defense, to these 2 guards, Adam Flagler and LJ Cryer, especially off of the dribble. The help was aggressive, and Flagler made the right decision.
Aimaq can shoot the 3. Instead, he gives it up to Isaacs. Too strong. Here's LJ Cryer on the right side. What does Baylor like to do offensively?
They shoot 3s. You know, they get a lot of movement into it, and then they let these guards create. But they are a volume 3-point shooting team, making over 9.5 a game.
Aimaq's got the rebound. He led the nation in rebounding 2 years ago at Utah Valley. Davion Harmon to Pop. And a loose ball underneath. Baylor comes away with it. LJ Cryer off the skip pass has the triple.
You cannot be that far off. You have to game plan for their 3-point shooting. They, by far, take the most number of threes in Big 12 play.
Here's Amac for three.
He is a talent. I'm telling you what, he is a talent. Knocked down a three the other day in that Texas game.
Here's Flo Thamba. And Thamba gets fouled and will go to the line and shoot a pair.
You know, Texas Tech comes way over. And this is their defense. You know, they bring aggressive help. The problem is a really good screen there by Jalen Bridges to create some more time. And then here's Amac. 12 and 5 in that game against Texas. And like we said at the top, he changes their team. Played 28 minutes in that game after really sitting out for a long, long time, Rich. I think it was more minutes than they expected to play him. The thing I worried about, and we asked him today when we talked to him, is how's your body? You know, you can play the 28, but then how do you recover to turn around and play on a Tuesday?
And he answered very confidently, if not somewhat cockily. He said, you know, I feel good. I could go 32 if they wanted me to. He still wants to drop about 15 pounds to get to his real fighting weight. Tyson.
That's another guy who's starting to play really well. Jalen Tyson, a jack of all trades, does a lot of things really well.
Thamba at the elbow. And they're going to get Isaacs on the reach-in.
You know, nice job by Isaacs coming over to help on Thamba, because Amac was, you know, they're playing that drop coverage. They're going to be very, obviously, cognizant of these guards off of any ball screen action. Even when they have that ball on the wing, Amac was kind of in that drop, which left Thamba open at the elbow. Isaacs came over and committed a cheap foul.
And now Amac's going to get a rest. Jalen Tyson will as well. That means Kerwin Walton, 24 in white, and Daniel Bacho, both transfers, check in. Bacho transferred to Texas Tech last year from Arizona. Kerwin Walton came over this season from North Carolina.
Baylor also an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Thamba, nice job keeping the possession alive.
Bridges. Got it. Off to a good start. Jalen Bridges has an early 7. There's Davion Harmon. Transferred to Lubbock from Oregon after spending his first couple of years at Oklahoma. Bacho. And we've got a foul on the floor as we take our first media timeout. A raucous atmosphere. Baylor leads by 3 in the early going. Back on Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. 21st ranked Baylor with a 3-point lead in enemy territory over Texas Tech inside United Supermarkets Arena. Alongside Chris Patola, I'm Rich Hollenberg. So far, Baylor's 2 for 5 from 3-point range. This is a team that lives by the 3.
Yeah, 45% of their shots on the year as a team. Almost half their shots are threes. They are a volume 3-point shooting team, and it starts with those guards. You know, Adam Flagler, Keyonte George are 2 and 4 in the Big 12 in terms of made threes. They run stuff, Scott Drew runs stuff for them, and they have ultimate freedom, Rich. They'll shoot it off the bounce, off the catch. They're good at shooting on the move. You add LJ Cryer into that. All those guys are north of 35% from 3. In their last game, they had 8 threes in the first half. A lot of them open. Oklahoma State gave up a lot of open shots. These 2 early threes here in this game, open for Baylor. You have got to run them off the 3-point line.
And Flagler and George are the key components, but don't forget about LJ Cryer. He can knock them down with the best of them as well. Amac, skip pass, snared by Tyson. 10 on the shot clock for the Red Raiders. O'Banner with 5 to shoot. Off balance, off the window, Jalen Bridges comes away with it. Here's the aforementioned Pryor, gives it up to Langston Love, seeing his first action. And Love goes right into the teeth of the defense, and it's one and done for the Bears.
No call there. There was obviously contact.
Harmon, lefty three, off to the right. Offensive rebound, O'Bennett with the putback.
You know, Baylor's going to be aggressive when Amac catches it on the block. Baylor did the same thing with Caleb Boone when he caught it in their last game. They're coming with a hard double. And Amac doing a nice job looking opposite.
Here's Flagler's first shot, and it's good.
Again, you've got to make him put it on the floor. Make them drive the ball, take a tough two, or at least shoot over length towards the basket. You cannot allow them to be standstill shooters.
Tyson for three with an answer. Jalen Tyson with an early 7.
You can tell he's starting to get comfortable. He's really a freshman. You know, only played 8 games in his time at Texas. He's a guy that, again, a jack of all trades. Gives him a lot of good defense, can make a shot, obviously. Had 14 rebounds in that game against Texas.
To go along with the dozen points in his return to Austin. Here's Flagler, again, a tough three, too strong. Chased down by O'Banner. He's now 2 rebounds shy of 1,000 for his career. Kevin O'Banner. Picked off. There's a Texas Tech turnover. Bridges in the open floor. 9 points in the early going for Jalen Bridges. And another Tech turnover. Stop and pop, doesn't drop. Amac the rebound.
And that's the shot you want. You know, again, it was open, and he missed it, but you want them taking and hopefully missing those types of shots. Those catch and shoot threes, you have got to run them off.
Baylor looks locked in the early going. They lost here last year. Texas Tech, the only team to sweep them in the Big 12 last season. Here's Isaacs. Yes! Pop Isaacs' first bucket of the game. Coming off 23 at Texas. Amac had it picked off.
Too unselfish. Take that shot, big fella.
Bridges gets the bump and the bucket. Have yourself a first half, Jalen Bridges.
Well, and you said it earlier, Rich. He has been ice cold coming into conference play, but he has shot it well. I mean, he's shooting at 55% from the paint. And look, if you're open for 3, take that shot, Jalen Bridges. Otherwise, drive it with that 6'7" frame. You know, sometimes you want a little bit more dog out of Jalen Bridges. Remember Bob Huggins used to call him a sweetheart. And it was a compliment, but it also reflected sometimes in how he played. He's got that body, Rich. He's got to use it, be aggressive, and a take like that is a perfect example.
3-point play completed for Jalen Bridges. Had a season-high 20 earlier this year. He's averaging close to 11 a game in Big 12 play, but he's already surpassed that. 12 points for number 11 in green. 8 minutes gone by, 3-point game. What else is new in the Big 12, Chris? It seems like every game is a white-knuckle affair. There's number 1 in white, freshman Lamar Washington. Five on the shot clock. Isaacs gonna have to create. He got the foul on the rise up, and Pop Isaacs will go to the line and shoot 2 when we return.
He's so shifty, but he wants 3. He's got 19 threes in their last 5 games. That's what's going 1 of 9 from 3 against Iowa State. Popping it in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at Progressive.com. Back in Lubbock, Texas, a Texas-sized tussle between 21-ranked Baylor and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Both teams shooting well, Chris Patola. None better than Jalen Bridges so far.
And he's only averaging 9 a game on the season. So, you know, a quick 12 for him. And the thing he's done well, Rich, he's been an outstanding rebounder in league play, particularly in the offensive glass. Guy who's been around this league, obviously transferring in from West Virginia.
Isaacs, a true freshman, 6'2", 170 out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Knocks him down. He's an 88% free throw shooter. He has 5, and the Baylor lead is 1. Some token pressure by the Red Raiders. George in the scoring column. Keyonte George with his first 2 of the night.
And that's one of the things he's doing better, Rich, is driving the basketball. He's not settling. He's an advanced finisher for a freshman. He's been able to get to the foul line a lot as a result.
Interesting to note, Caleb Lohner, 33 in green, getting his first action of the night. He played some high school ball in Utah with Pop Isaacs. Wasatch Academy, powerhouse in Utah. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Lohner. Tried to squeeze it into Thamba, no go. Here's his former teammate, Isaacs. Jalen Tyson with the ball. Good first half for him, 7 points. O'Banner for 3. And that's a good sign. He was 0 for 9 from 3 in his last 3 games.
And he hit 4 against KU. So that's how ice cold he's been. Mark Adams telling us today he's got to be better.
Lohner can't convert the lob. Here's George from distance. Yes! Keyonte George 2 for his last 2. Problem for Texas Tech, they're shooting it well, but I don't know if they could keep up with the 3-point shooting of Baylor. Tough pass inside, and it's turned over.
Yeah, it was not a good decision. He had 3 guys around him, just not a good pass.
Now Langston Love. Floater off the glass, and Scott Drew really wants to start getting more out of Langston Love. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I said to Coach Drew today, that, you know, that'd be where I was pointing at Love. I said, man, it'd be nice to start getting a little more out of him. Like, they need another guy to help these 3 guards out. There's talent in Love. He's just dealt with a lot of injuries.
ACL last year, missed the entire season. Rebound by Adam Flagler. Baylor trying to build on a 5-point lead, looking for their 3rd straight win in conference after starting the conference schedule 0-3. Texas Tech desperate for a win, 0-5 to start league play. Off the dribble, just a rhythm jump shot from Adam Flagler forces a timeout for Texas Tech. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 8:43 to go in Lubbock.
Baylor guards are so good off the bounce. I mean, he just freezes Jalen Tyson there. That is not an easy shot. But Rich, these guards are given such freedom. They have freedom to really improvise within the offense when the offense breaks down. They are so good shooting off of the dribble. It makes them so tough to defend.
7-point lead for Baylor, their largest of the game. They've re-entered the AP top 25 after snapping a 65-week run in the top 25 last week when they were unranked. Bridges picks it off.
Turnovers have been an issue for Texas Tech all year, and the last 2 have been not good turnovers. Not that there ever is a good turnover.
Deep 3, way off the mark. Here comes Isaac. They want to push. Bacho all alone. and it's blocked by Lohner. Great recovery by Caleb Lohner, but that'll send Bacho to the free throw line. We have another media timeout, 7:58 to go. Back and forth we go. Well, Chris, BYU will be entering the Big 12 next year, but there's a Utah flavor to this game in the Big 12 tonight. Baylor's Caleb Lohner and Texas Tech's Pop Isaac both played high school basketball together at Wasatch Academy in Utah a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You mentioned the talent on that team. I have great respect for the look of Caleb Lohner in that photo. He looks like Sean Penn in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Spicoli would be an apt nickname. I like that. Actually, he wears number 33 because a lot of people told him growing up he was a big basketball fan. You look a little bit like Larry Bird. But with that long hair he had in high school, definitely more Spicoli. No shirt, no shoes,
no service.
No service. Bacho 1 for 2. So it's a 2-possession ball game. 21st ranked Baylor 29, Texas Tech 23. Both teams shooting it well, over 50% from the field, over 40% from three-point range so far. Thamba, bounce pass. Bridges continues a sterling first half.
The ball movement is terrific. They just get a lot of movement within that offense. Those bigs are very good rim running out of it, and a nice extra pass by Thamba.
Ken Palm says Baylor has the 8th most efficient offense in basketball. It's been on display tonight so far.
They average 16 assists a game, a very unselfish team.
5 on the shot clock. Here's Isaacs, pull up 3. Short. And it goes over the backboard. It'll be Baylor basketball. Chance to extend what is now their largest lead of the game.
You know, this Texas Tech team, Rich, you know, last year, if things bogged down, you could go to Bryson Williams. You know, they had a lot of guys on that team you could get a shot, but the alpha was Williams. They don't really have that guy this year. You know, Banner's their leading scorer. Isaacs is their most talented player, but they don't have that guy.
Bacho with the block, they're going to count it. Goaltending on Daniel Bacho. Give the bucket to the freshman sensation, Keyonte George, who has 7 now.
Nice timing there by Bacho. That's the one thing he gives them, rim protection. Actually, the bad timing, I should say, the goaltending, but he's done a nice job of that, protecting their basket.
Walton for 3, and that is his specialty. Texas Tech coaching staff feels like he could be one of the best snipers in the Big 12. Harmon up ahead, and the foul by L.J. Cryer.
Guy who hasn't played a lot, but that is what he does. You know, it's what he was known for when he was at North Carolina. And like you said, Rich, it's what they hoped he would do when he got here.
That's just his 11th made 3 of the year, shooting about 37% for the Red Raiders. Now Demarion Williams. Trying to look for Amac. And an Amac attack from close range.
And it took a minute to get it to him, but Baylor was switching that stuff up top. And Amac had George on him for a minute.
Five to shoot. Cryer does and silences the crowd.
You know, both these teams switch, and often it'll be 1 through 5. And both these bigs, once they get that switch from a guard, they're running them right down to the block. Amac's got it again.
Walton again for 3. deafening inside United Supermarkets Arena. That three off the mark, offensive rebound by Bridges. George fouled by Walton.
It's raining threes in here, and there's that kick back out. Thamba had the matchup inside, and a good relocation there by Cryer. And Walton had hit one the possession before, knocks one down there.
Well, here's our next star-studded NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Trae Young and the Hawks are in Dallas to play Luka and the Mavs at 7:30 Eastern. Then it's out to the Mile High City for Nikola Jokic and the Western Conference leading Nuggets hosting Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the app. That jump shot off the inbound's good.
And they've run that a couple times. You have got to be in lock with the inbounder. They go back to that inbounder. In that case, Flagler.
Balanced scoring for the Baylor Bears. 7 for Flagler, 6 for Cryer, 7 for George, but they're led by Jalen Bridges with 14. Tough two, no good. Ojan Muna comes away with it. Flagler, rhythm three, no good, and Bacho tracks it down. This crowd looking to explode with every Texas Tech bucket. Under 4 minutes to go. An entertaining first half from Lubbock. Tyson with 10.
You got to talk. Bridges and George didn't know what they wanted to do. You should have just switched, and you got to switch high. And Tyson pulled it.
George, too strong, but he drew the foul.
Here's this Jalen Tyson three, and it's obviously a nice shot he steps into, but the defense, there's confusion. Look at Keyonte George and Jalen Bridges. That's Bridges who's got to step up on that switch to get a contest.
Well, just like the statue outside United Supermarkets Arena, the Red Raiders are riding high. Right now, they have 7 three-pointers in the first half. That's what's keeping them in this game, but it's 21st ranked Baylor with a 38-34 lead. And let's give credit where credit is due. Both teams shooting the ball well, but both of these teams in recent years, Chris, have made their identity with defense.
Yeah, neither of these teams are their vintage defensive selves. You know, Baylor, just not, they don't have that alpha, you know, that super alpha like they've had on defense, be it a Davion Mitchell or a Mark Vidal. Keyonte George, you know, that's where his game probably needs to take the biggest step is defensively. And then Texas Tech, you know, is they're playing younger guys. They've turned over their entire roster. I think both defenses, not what we're accustomed to seeing.
Well, what we're getting accustomed to quickly is seeing Keyonte George light it up for the Baylor Bears. There's only one player in all of America who is a freshman who's scoring more than him. That's Brandon Miller for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
You know, he had 32 in that game against West Virginia, and in the follow-on game against Oklahoma State, he took 8 shots, but he had 8 assists. He allowed the game to come to him. I was talking to him at the shoot-around earlier today. I said I was very impressed because a lot of young players coming off a game of 32, they'd come out and say, I got to do that again. And you end up forcing up a lot of shots. It showed a lot of maturity from Keyonte George.
He's a willing passer. Still working on his defense, of course. Amac, the little push shot from the baseline. Amac with 7 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist tonight. First game in front of the home crowd. And we're under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Love, pull up for 2, off to the right. Bridges another O board. And they're so good at creating space.
And they're so good on the offensive glass. I mean, they're averaging over 12 offensive rebounds a game. Jalen Bridges in conference play has been terrific on the offensive glass.
Tyson off the miss. How about LJ Cryer? In his last 3 games, including tonight, he's 14 for his last 20 from 3.
He was great in their last game, Rich. I mean, and a lot of them were open, but those guys also make contested shots. They're just really good offensive players, he and Adam Flagler.
Here's Cryer again, weaving his way in this time, and he gets the floater to work. 11 for Cryer.
And that's where Amac knows you've got to come out and contest. And a nice recognition there by Cryer, getting into the paint and hitting a tough floater.
Baylor's largest lead of the game was 10. They're up 9 now. 1:40 to go. Here's Tyson working on the smaller Cryer. The double team came, but it came too late. And Jalen Tyson is leading the Red Raiders with a dozen.
Another tough shot. You know, Cryer was forcing him baseline into the help of Ojanwuna.
Another jumper goes for LJ Cryer. That's 4 threes in the first half for Cryer. He's got 14. Nice runner from Pop Isaacs.
The shot making in this first half has been outstanding.
High level stuff in the Big 12. Each and every game, each and every night. 30 seconds to go. Flagler tried it from deep, no good. Love gets it. Ojanwuna the offensive rebound, can't get the putback. Blocked from behind. And 4 attempts come up empty. 7 seconds to go. Isaacs drew the foul. The bump's going to go on Bridges. Well, Chris, thanks to the outstanding shooting, we have not seen a lot of free throws, and these 2 teams go to the line more than just about anybody in the country. $5.7 to go. What do you think Mark Adams is dialing up on the sideline?
And I think you've got Amac. You know, you got enough time, obviously, to make a play, but they love going to these interior guys.
2 seconds to shoot. Tyson squeezes it off, but it comes up left.
That's not what they drew up.
An 8-point lead for 21st ranked Baylor. They shot lights out. Just a little bit more than Texas Tech shot lights out in front of a sellout crowd in Lubbock, Texas. Jalen Bridges and LJ Cryer leading the way. Halftime up next. We have a college basketball quadruple header for you Saturday on ESPN and the app. It all starts with these 2 games. Isaiah Wong leading number 17 Miami against Kyle Filipowski and Duke at noon Eastern. Then Wade Taylor and Texas A&M have won 6 straight, and they take on Mr. Double-Double, the reigning National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe and the Kentucky Wildcats. Should be another great day for college basketball. Here in Lubbock, we had a great first half. 21st ranked Baylor leading Texas Tech by 8. Second half, highlights and play coming up next. Back in Lubbock, Texas, as Super Tuesday presented by Progressive continues. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN, getting ready for the second half between number 21 Baylor and Texas Tech. The Bears with an 8-point lead as we get set for that second half inside a sold-out United Supermarkets Arena alongside Chris Patola. I'm Rich Hollenberg. Both of these teams shooting lights out in the first half, Chris. They were near mirror images of each other, and the 3-point shot has dominated the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, both teams have 7. You've got 14 total threes in this game for both teams. And, you know, it's the shot making that has been the key. You know, off of the bounce, the balance, particularly for Texas Tech, the number of guys who have done that. It was raining threes in here in that first half. And for Baylor, you know, Jalen Bridges got him started early, but then it was LJ Cryer, who has kept it going. He's 5 of 6 in the game, 4 of 4 from 3. And then for Texas Tech, they've got 5 different guys who made a 3. That one, Pop Isaac's there. And how about Kerwin Walton coming into this game and hitting 2 big ones towards the end of the half? Now, I think if you're both coaches, you've got to ask the question about your defense. I mean, Texas Tech, Rich, they're shooting almost 60% from the field, and they're down 8. So defensively, I think both teams have a lot to figure out.
Glass half full, glass half empty. Let me ask you this, though. Baylor's been in this situation before. They've had halftime leads. They've had leads in almost every game in Big 12 play, and yet they come in with a 2-3 Big 12 record, outscoring teams in the first half, getting outscored in the second half. Why is that?
You know, I think, look, the other day against Oklahoma State, they only made 1 3 in the second half. They made 8 in the first. So I think shooting has a lot to do with it. You know, turnovers have been an issue in second halves of games.
Bears are 11-2 when they lead at the half. That one blocked from behind. And it's going to be Tech ball under their own basket with 6 on the shot clock. Here's Amack. Catch and release off the window.
He's such a weapon. You know, the other thing too, Rich, for Baylor, you mentioned that difference between the 2 halves. I mean, again, they're not quite the defensive team they've been. So when that shot making is not there, they haven't been able to rely on that defense the way they typically do.
And LJ Cryer, who led all scorers with 14 points in the first half, courtesy of 4 3-pointers, will go to the line to start the second half. The foul's going to go on Pop Isaacs, his second of the night.
It's amazing how momentum is so effective for a guy like LJ Cryer. I mean, he goes 4 for 5 from 3 in their game on Saturday. The 4 games prior to that, he was 2 of 11. So, you know, in the last 2 games, he's 4 of 5. And then tonight, he's 4 of 4 from 3. And it's just, he's on a real heater. Of course, missing 2 free throws is not good.
He only missed 2 all year before those 2 free throws. Isaacs for 3. And the Raiders are back to within 3. Ooh, what a tough shot as Keyonte George tries to silence the crowd. A 3-headed monster of guards that Baylor has, man. Put them up against anybody. Nice dish. Davion Harmon to Daniel Bacho for the flush.
Really nice assist, and Harmon has been their point guard. He's not a high assist guy. He didn't have any assists in that game against Texas, but a really nice find on a wide open, a defensive breakdown, a wide open Daniel Bacho.
George again.
Those last 2 shots are what we call pro shots. High level from Keyonte George.
Keyonte George has 15 now to lead all scorers. He's 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Averaging 21 a game in his first trip through the Big 12.
Here's Pop Isaacs, the freshman, and again, there's guys you can't leave. I mean, talk about a heater, a guy who's shooting it real well, and then that's just, he gets a screen from Flo Thamba, but he is shooting that as he's turning. That's a high-level shot.
Here's Isaacs. In Big 12 play, no one makes more 3s a game than Pop Isaacs. He's got 2 tonight, but missed that one. George, look at that move, but it's pinned by Bacho. Heads up play by George to stick with it. He has 17. He gets in takeover mode, look out. Amack. No. Good rebound on the offensive end by Tyson, out of bounds. Look out. That's 7 feet, close to 300 pounds coming your way.
Yeah, I said this in the first half. Daniel Bacho's done a nice job protecting Texas Tech's rim. He meets that thing at the backboard, but a nice job by George staying with it. And when you're hungry to score, Rich, like you said it, a guy like that can get it going, but he's allowing the game to come to him. You know, he didn't force anything in the first half, and now he's starting to feel it.
Amack and Isaacs on the bench. Mark Adams goes to his bench very liberally. 11 players averaging 10 or more minutes per game. George almost had the spectacular chance at a three-point play. Instead, he'll get 2 free throws.
You know, Baylor runs this weave action at the top to shift the defense, allow it to see both sides, but you end up with these switches. And so George ends up with a closing out. Bacho goes right by him, and a nice take. And that's where, you know, the difference in him, too, driving the basketball. He's taking almost 9 free throws a game in conference play.
And he cans that one. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, a must-have for all Big 12 fans. Tomorrow at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, number 14 TCU taking on West Virginia. And of course, the early rounds of the Phillips 66 Big 12 tournament can be seen at Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. It all starts March 8th at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. If you prefer to attend the event, tickets are on sale at big12sports.com/buy tickets.
Baylor loves to pick up. They'll change defenses after a free throw, picking up full court there. First time we've seen it tonight. They had the trap they wanted, just couldn't get the turnover.
Baylor now has their largest lead of the game, which is 11, and a foul called on the floor. That's going to go on LJ Cryer, his second. And Cryer goes to the bench, and Langston Love will come back on in his stead. Here's Harmon. Here's O'Banner. In and out on the 3-ball. Good extra effort by Tyson getting the offensive board for Tech.
He's been outstanding on the glass. Jalen Tyson working his tail off.
Walton had 2 in the first half, has his 3rd now tonight. And
Big
that
threes.
is pure.
Yeah, and big threes from him. 2 towards the end of the first half. And that one there.
With 10 on the shot clock. That jumper's off the mark, and in the midst of a gangle of players. Tyson the rebound, and paid off at the other end by Davion Harmon. First 2 of the game for Davion Harmon. From a good shot to a better shot.
Really good offense. And it started with Adam Flagler driving the closeout. He had Daniel Bacho again on him. He drives the closeout, and you get 2 extra passes.
Keyonte George had 22 against K-State, 32 against West Virginia, and now 22 tonight.
That last play, and this is driving the closeout of Daniel Bacho. Adam Flagler sees the big come out, leads to the pass out to Love, and then you get 1 extra pass to Keyonte George, who is cooking in this game, in this second half. You know, Rich, for a Texas Tech defense that prides itself on keeping the ball on a side, keeping the ball out of the middle, we have seen a lot of middle penetration tonight by these Baylor guards.
Yeah, and that has led to a lot of open looks from 3. They've knocked down 10 of them tonight. 10 for 19 from beyond the arc for one of the highest volume three-point shooting teams in the nation. That staked Baylor to a 9-point lead, 14.5 to go. Amack back on the floor, 11 in white. 7 on the shot clock. Harmon squeezes it off and gets it to go.
Again, a guard on a big. And it was actually well defended by the freshman big, Ojanwuna.
Tough two from Flagler off the mark. And that's tracked down by O'Banner. And if they give him a rebound there, that's career rebound number 1,000 for Kevin O'Banner. Isaac. In and out. The rebound to Lohner.
Be interesting to see when Scott Drew brings LJ Cryer back with the 3 fouls. And I would think maybe under that 12-minute timeout, you give him a run, you trust him, he's a guard. Because he was on fire before he, obviously in that first half.
Ojanwuna, a rim run for the freshman.
And the pass from Keyonte George.
Makes the game look very easy, does Keyonte George. Hard to believe he's just a teenager. Harmon trying to get heat check mode. Davion Harmon will go to the line and shoot too.
Keyonte George is the best pro prospect in this league. Now, that's not well defended. It's terribly defended. But nice rim run by the freshman, like you said, freshman to freshman. But George, that's the thing about his game. Like, he's not a pig with the ball. He is allowing the game to come to him. I think he's making better decisions at this point than he was earlier in the year. He's got to become better defensively. That's the next step in his game. But he rebounds. He's a pleaser. He wants his teammates to like him. He wants his coaches to approve.
And we talked about this throughout the season, Chris. You watch a Baylor basketball game, you're going to get at least one of those highlights that we just showed. At least one eye-popping assist from one of the great scorers in this league in Keyonte George. Nice feed, Lohner, the two-hand flush.
Very nice feed. And Flagler sensed that Lohner was making that cut. Really good heads-up cut there by Caleb Lohner.
Flagler taking a back seat in the point production tonight, just 7, but he's already got 5 assists. He has 6 or more assists 8 times this season. And he stole that one. Here's George. Leaves it for Love.
Yeah, this is where last year, if you're Texas Tech, you go to Bryson Williams. You need a basket.
A battle for the loose ball. John Higgins says it's going to be a jump ball, and it'll be possession arrow Baylor.
And they just don't have that guy. And the turnovers have been an issue all year. It's an unselfish Baylor team. They average 16 assists a game. And Adam Flagler didn't even have to look, just sensed that Caleb Lohner was going to be making that cut from the corner.
Caleb Lohner's a Texas kid, grew up in Flower Mound, then went to high school to play for his uncle, who was the head coach at Wasatch Academy that we alluded to a little bit earlier. And he's kind of a free spirit in the Bill Walton mold, like surfing and snowboarding. Looked pretty vicious there on that two-hand dunk, did Caleb Lohner. 8 minutes gone by. Baylor continuing their hot shooting. With 7 on the shot clock, and that is a 28-footer in your face. 25 for Keyonte George.
Another pro shot. You smell that? I don't know if it's Texas barbecue, but something's cooking in the building, Rich, and his name is Keyonte George. He is wet from deep.
We we've talked about this already tonight, Chris. Baylor takes a lot of threes, and they make a lot of threes.
Yeah, they've made 11 in this game. And look, they also make tough shots. I mean, we could talk about scheming to run them off the line and all that coach talk. They make tough shots. I mean, that long three from Keyonte George is tough, and they also make shots off the bounce. They just run really good offense. They have the ultimate green light. And those three guards, it's a three-headed monster, man. It's tough to stop.
Led tonight by Keyonte George. The fabulous freshman has 25 for Baylor. Another three by Walton. This is his first one of the night. And George grabs the rebound in traffic.
I mean, he has 25 on 12 shots.
Talk about efficient.
And he's already got in Big 12 play a game of 32 and a game of 27.
And this is the best league in basketball, by far. No easy nights in the Big 12. Again, a nice rim run by Josh Ojanwuna.
This is not Texas Tech defense. This is not what we're accustomed to.
To illustrate that point, Chris, 24 Baylor points in the paint tonight. The lead is now 16. Isaacs lost it on the way up. Tyson got it back. Here's Walton again. That shot was altered, but he still made 4 triples for Kerwin Walton. He has 12. Tech staring squarely at an 0-6 start in league play. Baylor looking to win their 3rd straight to even their ledger at 3-3 in the Big 12. Under 10 minutes to go. Flagler wisely calls timeout. 5 on the shot clock for the Bears, and we'll step aside for another timeout. 21st ranked Baylor hitting on all cylinders on the road in Lubbock. Let's take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. The midseason 25 announced not too long ago, and wouldn't you know it, 2 Baylor Bears are on that top 25 list. Keyonte George, who tonight has 25 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, and Adam Flagler, who has 7 points but 6 dimes tonight. And Chris, they're one of only 3 schools in Division I basketball who have 2 people on the midseason top 25 list.
Yeah, and both worthy. You know, we haven't said Adam Flagler's name a lot tonight, but he's been their most consistent player. I mean, he right now is a first-team all Big 12 type of guy.
Catch and release by George off the mark out of the timeout, and it's going to be Texas Tech basketball. Just an exemplary shooting for the Baylor Bears tonight, shooting 55% from the field and 52% from beyond the arc. 11 triples tonight. Their season high is 15. Isaac off the mark. Another offensive board from Jalen Tyson. Here's Isaac. No whistle, and Isaac went down hard. And it's going to be Baylor basketball.
It's been a tough night for Pop Isaacs. You know, hit a couple shots early, but that's about it. I don't see a foul there.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he's reacting to this, trying, I think, to create a call. I don't see anything there on Flo Thamba.
Law of verticality, right?
Yeah.
So Baylor gets possession, up 13, coming up on 9 minutes to go. Bridges had a great first half, quiet in the second half. And that foul is going to go on Jalen Tyson.
You know, again, the other thing that Baylor does offensively, Rich, is they offensive rebound. And it's not easy for guys like Flo Thamba and Jalen Bridges in there because there's a lot of threes. They're a volume 3-point shooting team, which means you get a lot of weird caroms and a lot of long rebounds. And yet those guys have done a really nice job extending possessions.
Look at the passing. Love can't pay it off. Another man's rebound for Jalen Tyson, and he gets fouled. Looked like that one's going to go on Flo Thamba, his third. Another good night for Jalen Tyson. 1 rebound shy of his second straight double-double.
I like that dude. He plays hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude plays hard. He's got some skill to him. He's going to be a really good player.
Originally committed to Texas Tech, and then when Chris Beard left to go to Texas, he followed him. Only played 8 games, limited minutes, before he decided to come back to Lubbock. Sat out the rest of last year, and now he's shaping up to be one of their best players. Mark Adams told us earlier today they need more scoring from Kevin O'Banner. Tried to give it to him there, and Kevin O'Banner got fouled for his efforts.
Yeah, he needs to play better, as Coach Adams was saying. The other thing is, as they get more comfortable with Fardaws Aimaq, you got to play through him on the block a little bit more than they have. And I think they're trying to figure out, again, it's a second game back, understandably so. I think they're trying to figure out where they can use him. He's a force, though. I mean, we saw him step out and hit a 3 earlier in the game. He's got a massive body to play on the block. He's a good passer.
Tyson now with 13, had 12 in the first half. That's his first point of the second half. And Mark Adams only half-jokingly said to us, by mid-February, if we stay healthy, we're going to be hitting on all cylinders. Unfortunately, that might be a little too little, a little too late for this Red Raiders program. Two free throws by Tyson cuts the deficit to 11. Cryer, he had 14 in the first half, scoreless in the second half. Love found the seam and missed the dunk, but got fouled.
Well, they missed the travel. The crowd was reacting. Langston Love did travel out here near midcourt, but you love the tape. A guy coming off an ACL injury, and I don't know how completely healthy he is. He goes off the opposite leg there, a 1-foot jump. That's how you go hard, and there's no question that was a foul.
You know, we talk so much about Keyonte George. He was the highest ranked prospect ever to come to Baylor. You know who he beat out for that title was Langston Love. He was a McDonald's All-American caliber player also. Well, we have a quadruple header coming up for you in college basketball on Saturday. It starts with these 2 games, Isaiah Wong and number 17 Miami against Duke at noon Eastern. Then Wade Taylor and Texas A&M against Oscar Sheetway in Kentucky. Should be another great day for college hoops. You know, I know you cover the ACC a lot. How about the Clemson Tigers? 7-0 in league play.
Rob Brownell's done a nice job keeping guys on that roster. You know, in this era of the portal, he's got 1 transfer making an impact, but everybody else there.
Baylor up by 12. Ranked 21st in the country, looking to win 3 straight. Chris, we see it twice a week, every week play. They have 6 teams in the top 25, 5 in the top 15, and tonight 2 top 10 teams in the Big 12 go down. Kansas State wins at home over second-ranked Kansas, and number 12 Iowa State improves to 10-0 at home after they take down 7th-ranked Texas.
We were joking before the game, like preseason polls have never been more worthless. Get them out of here.
Yeah. We say that because Kansas State was picked last in the Big 12 coming into this season.
And what was Iowa State picked?
Iowa State was picked 8th.
Yeah.
Crazy. The job that Jerome Tang has done in his first season as head coach at Kansas State after 19 as an assistant for Scott Drew and these Baylor Bears. 7 on the shot clock for Baylor. 3 to shoot. Flagler. That one's blocked. They're going to count it. Adam Flagler's first 2 points of the second half.
This is what makes these guards tough too, because when all breaks down, they're just going to take you off the dribble. And they don't need a screen, and they can create their own angles, and that's a good call. That ball's on its way down. And a crafty, off-balance finish there.
Here's Davion Harmon. Came in averaging 12 and a half. Been held to 4 tonight. No call. Isaac gives it to O'Banner. Tough 3 for Isaacs. And a foul called underneath. That's going to go on Josh Ojonwuna. So the big man, Fardaws Aimaq, will go to the line for the first time tonight. He's got 9 points. 6 rebounds to go along with those 9 points. And he missed the front end. Both of these teams so used to playing tightly contested ball games. This one hasn't been that way for a while tonight. 3 on the shot clock. George tried to draw the foul on the three-point play and didn't get one. Isaac, Aimaq, fouled again.
And that's the kind of stuff that Aimaq can give them. What a really nice early post by him. Just exceptional position right in front of the rim and a nice delivery from Isaacs.
Now Aimaq, who has a good 3-point stroke, hasn't made a free throw yet. And this, what you're looking at on your screen, that's life in the Big 12. I mean, their first 12 games, things were rolling along, and then you hit Big 12 play, and despite the fact that, again, 4 of their 5 losses in the Big 12, Chris, have come by 6 points or fewer. They're in almost all of their games, except for the one against Iowa State. But what do they say about close? Only counting in horseshoes and hand grenades. And they're staring at an 0-6 start here if they can't change things around here in the final 6 minutes of play. Ojonwuna, good work from the freshman. 6 points in the second half for number 15 in green.
Those guys up front, be it Ojonwuna, Thamba, or Bridges, they are all over the offensive glass.
Walton gives it up to O'Banner, and a chance at a 3-point play.
Another good early post here. And he had the freshman Keyonte George helping up and allowed the drop off. You know, that's where, I mean, this Texas Tech team, we've talked about the turning over of the roster. I mean, turned over the entire team except for this guy at the foul line, essentially. And it's, you know, they're challenged offensively in stretches of the game, and they're not the defensive identity where they can kind of withstand that.
Well, they are out-rebounding Baylor, 27-25, but that was one of the things that Mark Adams was preaching to his team when we watched practice earlier. He was saying, don't foul them on threes, they really haven't, and block out, and they have. And yet, they still find themselves down a dozen.
Well, and part of it, you know, Baylor's made 11 threes. They had 7 in the first half, but they're also winning in the paint. They're beating them 26-14, which means, you know, if they're not taking or making perimeter shots, they've been able to drive Texas Tech. And that's what I was saying earlier, a defense that prides itself on keeping teams out of the middle. We have seen a lot of middle drives tonight from Baylor.
Yeah, and Mark Adams, who you're looking at right now, he is like the prime minister of defense throughout his entire coaching career. He's a Texas Tech grad from back in 1979, spent almost his entire 30-year career as an assistant and a head coach in the state of Texas. And when Chris Beard brought him over here from Arkansas Little Rock, he was the captain of the defense, and that was how Texas Tech rose to the top of the ranks in the Big 12.
I don't know if that got touched. came right down the sideline here near us. And the officials thought it got deflected, called it for Baylor.
Yeah, saying it was off the fingertips of Pop Isaacs. Not a lot of calls going the Red Raiders' way either tonight. Home court advantage held for Kansas State and Iowa State tonight. That means Big 12 home teams have won 12 of the last 13 games. Might not happen here in Lubbock. Good scramble for the ball from Flagler off his own miss. And a foul called on the floor. That foul is going to go on Davion Harmon. And we count down to 5 minutes to go. 21st ranked Baylor looking for win number 13 on the season and looking to even their record at 3-3 in the Big 12. There's Tyson on the leak out. 2 off his career high as Jalen Tyson, and all of a sudden we have a 10-point ball game. Bridges can't connect. Offensive rebound, George. What an effort by Keyonte George.
Right over the top. He just snatched it over Isaacs.
Pryor showed 3, went into the paint. And a bailout foul called on the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who are looking to stay in this one, Chris.
Well, you thought this might get him going. Got the turnover off of Keyonte George. Nice little touch pass there. Down 10.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com. Well, so far with 3:59 to go, it's been Sikkim over Wreckham. 21st ranked Baylor with a 75-65 lead over Texas Tech, due in large part to their freshman sensation, Keyonte George.
I mean, look at these, how good has he been? And that 8 points was not because he played poorly. He just, you know, Adam Flagler and LJ Cryer had big days, so he kind of allowed that to happen. And he's coming back with another big one tonight. Baylor's starting to have a freshman factory here. We had 2 pros last year in Kendall Brown and Jeremy Sohan. Really only 3 freshmen in this league contributed. Tyrese Hunter being the other one when he was at Iowa State last year. CJ Noland a little bit at Oklahoma, got some burn. It's hard to play as a freshman here. And you've got 2 in this game. George has had a big pop. Isaacs has had a good season thus far.
I know you've got a little bit of a running list of your top players in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I don't think Keyonte George was on that list. After tonight, are you
Good
putting him on
point.
that
He
one?
was not on that list. Very good. I had his teammate Flagler on there. You're right. It's all guards, though, man. It's been a guards league this year.
Big time.
And whatever you call Jalen Wilson.
Who had 36 tonight, by the way.
He's terrific.
5 to shoot. Tyson, step back. Got it! Career high for Jalen Tyson. He's got 19.
He stacked 2 good games together. Jalen Tyson has. You got his offense tonight, and Kerwin Walton. I think if you're Mark Adams, you're trying to find some offensive punch.
Back-to-back double-doubles for Jalen Tyson. He has 19 and 11 tonight, and that's an offensive foul on Keyonte George. Keyonte George does not foul a lot. That's his first tonight. And all of a sudden, the lead has been trimmed to single digits, Mr. Spatola. Coming up on 3 minutes left. Tyson. They swing it around to Isaacs. Alone for three. Yes, sir! Ten to shoot. And Scott Drew is pleading for the continuation, but I don't think he's going to get it.
Isaacs draws so much attention because he can really shoot. So the shot fake gets, look how high the defender, LJ Cryer, reacts to that shot fake. It buys the space and still off of 1 foot. Pop Isaacs, a tough shot maker.
Cryer silences the crowd, if only momentarily, with that free throw. He has 17. Keyonte George with 25. Now 18 for LJ Cryer. As the big man Amac checks back in with 2:29 to go. An 8-point Baylor lead.
And an offensive sub by Mark Adams to get Amac in.
Harmon weaves his way in, comes up empty. Baylor basketball. And Jalen Tyson slow to get up. I think he might have taken one in the hip or the thigh, it looks like. And now Amac goes out, some offense for defense substitution. Now Mark Adams forced to put Lamar Washington in as Jalen Tyson checks out.
This is going after it by Jalen Tyson. He's been doing that all night.
Both teams in the bonus. Tech's in the double bonus. 2 minutes left. Good ball movement as usual. And the ball gets wedged between the backboard and the rim, and that'll go as a turnover for the Baylor Bears.
That was a big defensive stop. Now this becomes a big defensive possession. Because Baylor just showed you, if you're not going to foul them, with their movement and their speed and their guard play, they're going to be able to run deep into a shot clock. We'll stick them on that basketball.
Still time for Tech. Amac spins off the window. Got his own miss and put it back in.
And that's that offensive defensive sub. Got Amac back into the game for that.
2-possession ball game, 1:20 to go. Baylor wants to take a little bit of the air out of the ball.
You don't have to foul yet. They're staying aggressive. You get a stop here.
Here's Bridges, baseline. 7 to shoot. Corner 3, short by Flagler. The rebound to Amac. Here comes Isaacs, and he gets fouled by LJ Cryer.
And a really nice rebound by Amac. It's kind of one-handed, and that run out started. As Amac is down, it started with the outlet pass from Amac, and then he followed the play.
Take a look at what happened to the big man. There's Pop Isaacs sliding on the floor, and then I think Amac was just going to help his teammate up, and he slipped as well.
And Isaacs sweat.
Ouch. No need for a slip and slide here inside United Supermarkets Arena. Amack goes out, Bacho comes on. And I think the confusion is they'll most likely have to wait till in between free throws. Pop Isaacs at the line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight, an 88% free throw shooter. And missed free throws has been a fly in the ointment for Mark Adams' club.
If he makes this, I don't think you need to foul still. I think you can. They've got now strung 2 stops together. They've been aggressive. If you foul because you're being aggressive, fine. You can play one more.
How about that? Jalen Tyson chases down the loose ball. Isaacs. Might have rushed it.
Yep. Yeah, you didn't need it.
And here's George on the leak out. And he's fouled by Davion Harmon.
It's a home run you're trying to hit there. You don't need it. Chance to cut it to 1 possession with a 2-point field goal, and you know, not having Amack on the floor for that offensive possession. Maybe you could have thrown it into him. You didn't have the opportunity to get it because of the offensive rebound.
Keyonte George limping a little bit, a little slow to get up there after that hard contact from Harmon. Among the many things he does well, shoots free throws at an 80% clip. 26 tonight for Keyonte George. Time is of the essence now for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They have to shoot a 3.
No, you can't dribble the ball out of.
Isaacs around and out. That might have been the last gasp for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. LJ Cryer is fouled and will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1.
You didn't need a 3, and in a moment like that, you just drive the ball. They're not going to foul you. You're going to get a layup. Like my thing, Rich, is always extend the game, and then there does come a point where you need to. But it was the possession before. You know, that's the one where you have a chance to cut it to 1 possession, and you just have a you have a home run shot there by Isaacs.
And this sold-out crowd, the Raider Riot student section, and all the rest of the 15,000 plus inside United Supermarkets Arena starting to file their way toward the exits. Their Red Raiders are going to go 0-6 in league play, their worst start in Big 12 conference play. That one off the mark, and Adam Flagler and company will be able to dribble it out. The Baylor Bears have now won 3 straight to even their Big 12 ledger at 3 wins and 3 losses, and the 21st ranked Bears come away with a hard-fought win in Lubbock. Your final score, 81-74 in favor of the 21st ranked Bears. Final thoughts?
That was a gutsy win. Road wins in this league do not come easy. Baylor's starting to get hot here, starting to play some really good basketball.
They'll stay on the road. Next up for Baylor, they are at Oklahoma. Next up for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, doesn't get any easier. They are on the road in Manhattan to take on a Kansas State team that just pulled off the upset in the Sunflower Showdown against the Kansas Jayhawks. So that'll do it for Lubbock, Texas. Baylor shooting lights out from beyond the arc. The freshman sensation Keyonte George leads the win with 27, and the 21st ranked Bears win it 81-74. For Chris Patola and everybody at ESPN, I'm Rich Hollenberg. So long from Lubbock.